So this is going to be a little longer video, a little bit more complex video. We're going to look at Weakauras as a way to help develop workings of Demonology. So I'm going to create a new group, but it's always fun to try new specs. The sad fact of life is Demonology is just not as good in PvP. But I'm going to show you how to play it anyways if you want to try it out. And we're going to walk through some of the add-ons for Demonology and this final video series on how to do it. So let's create a group. We're going to call it Demonology or Demo. And this Demonology, I'm going to try to basically all the icons that are going to go in here are going to be. So for this one, the Shadow Lock ability, I only want this to display, this original one, when I have a talent specialization of Affliction. So I just want to hide that. And player class Warlock. So I want that to kind of go away. Just make sure that's kind of off. Yeah, it was just a little bugged, I think. So Demonology is sort of just over here, the group of it. We don't have any abilities in there yet. So with Demonology, we have like pet abilities, we have Dark Glare that's out, we have Doomguards, we have everything like that. So let's first of all just push a few icons that are real simple that we're going to use. Our most important one is called Dreadstalkers. So we really want to put that one there. Again, I'm going to Wowhead here. We're going to put in called Dreadstalkers. Now I'm going to import it. Now Dreadstalkers is a little unique because not only is it coming out, I want to new import that one here. And actually, let me make sure I didn't customize it correctly. I want to customize this correctly. I want it on cooldown, in combat, and I want to have it as a medium icon. Copy. If I have it as a large icon, it's just too big. There we go. There we go. And we're just going to move it into Demonology, the demo thing. And actually, I'm going to rename this Demo Cooldowns. We have a lot of cooldowns as Demonology, so that's our first one. And this Dreadstalkers is on a 15-second cooldown. Let's move our Demo Cooldowns just over here a little bit. Now that we have something in the group, we can actually offset this 0. I'm going to change this to 200. The offset. And I only want to display this for the conditions. Where are we at? I only want to load this when I'm playing Demonology. And I want to go back to this Affliction one, and the talent specialization for that one is Affliction. So it only loads that group, and see now it says not loaded. Perfect. Because when I switch classes and things, I want the whole Weakauras interface can change. So that's the first one I want to use. Then we're going to load in. We have a lot of other abilities here. Hand of Cooldown is an instant. I only want to put in major ones. We want to put in Dark Glare. Now we only want to put Dark Glare in there if Dark Glare is summonable. So I go back to here. Summon Dark Glare. You gotta admit, Demonology is just sweet though. Okay, we're gonna kind of customize this again. Medium icon, on cooldown, in combat, copy. We're just creating the cooldowns for us to manage our cooldowns, simply. Import. We're gonna import that. Put it here, and eventually I'm just gonna kind of move it around. Now I only want to have that so it's already kind of picked it out. It will only show that talent when that talent is selected. Now Dark Glare is a little unique, so I'm just going to push him down a little bit under display. I'm just going to kind of offset him under the y-axis by 80. Oh, I'm sorry, the y-axis by -80, 0. We're going to find a home for him in a minute, and we can actually show the the Doomstalkers there, the Dreadstalkers, I'm sorry. The next one I want to pull up, we have a Summon Doomguard or Summon Infernal. Summon Infernal is one I want to use probably more than Summon Doomguard. And Summon Doomguard is more used for PvE. Summon Infernal is more for PvP, so we're going to kind of put that one there. Again, that's sort of a longer term cooldown, but we want to have it act. Summon Infernal. They both share the same cooldown, so it just says, hey, I think this is the right one, summon spell here. Medium, on cooldown, in combat, copy. Come back to here. New, import. Import that. We're going to put them next to Dark Glare. We're also going to give him a -80. Let's take a look at the rest of our icons. We have a Grimoire. And the Grimoire we like to use is, we have another silence. We have several silences. We have basically a Grimoire where I usually hit G though. This has a 1.5 minute cooldown. Grimoire Felguard. Now I actually have the letter Q as well, where you have Grimoire Fellhunter as well. But they both share the same cooldown. So I'm going to use Grimoire Felguard as that default cooldown. That's another really cool one that I can use. And again, I want to put it up because there's so many cooldowns and stuff. Okay, I just typed it in and it just pulled up this. So I couldn't find it from the general search. Let's go back to this. We're going to customize this. Medium icon again, on cooldown, in combat, copy. We're going to new, import, boom. Import that. We're going to move him kind of next to the Summon Doomguard. And I want to just sort of organize. This one's on a 3-minute cooldown. So this one is a little bit more important. We're going to show all. We can just show all there. This one I want to move over on the x-axis to 45. Just want to kind of move it next to the summoning stuff, right? We also have some silence abilities. Now, the really awesome thing is we have just a spell lock. So we have a Fell Hunter. One of our PvP talents, I think, or just regular talents. It's an honor talent called Call Fell Hunter. It won't actually summon a Fell Hunter. It'll actually just summon a spell lock, but it's on a 24-second cooldown, which is really nice. And again, we can, things on shorter cooldowns like this, I don't need to be reminded of, so I probably don't need to use this. I also don't need to use Demonic Circle as one, but one I do want to use is Call Fell Lord. And that's sort of another bigger cooldown. It's on a 1.5 minute cooldown, which is not that long, which is a reason why Demonology is just awesome. Call Fell Lord. As a spell, it's a PvP spell. And we always pick this one in the talent tree, so I don't need to really customize it anymore. On cooldown, in combat, copy. And since it's on a 1.5 minute cooldown, let's import this. Great. This is also on, it shares the same cooldown as this, so the fall, but this one is a more minor cooldown. You want to use that one before you probably use the Felguard. So again, I'm going to offset this. Use 45, so then 90. You have a 1 pixel buffer. I'm going to change that to 0 and just 90. And move that right over there. And just make sure we can see everything. And this is kind of how we're setting up our cooldown interface. So I see my Dreadstalkers, the summoning of the Felguard, and then the Fell Lord is right next to that guy as well. So how do I get this pretty awesome, basically what I want to call is progress, right here. These progress icons to manage when our demons are out for tools consumption. Okay, pretty simple. I'm going to show you this link here. This guy made a video of it, and he created it for you, but here's the link right here. And we're just going to copy that Weakauras import string, and we're just going to import it in. It's going to create a group for us. It's going to do all the hard work for us. So we're just going to put it in right there. And shout out to this guy who made it. His character name is Common or Kronos or something. Okay, anyways. So the last thing I really kind of want to do is I want to create... Getting sometimes shards is really difficult as Demonology. So in our talent pool, we can look at a few ways to get those more shards, and it's up to you and your play style. This spec is very greedy and very hard to get more shards, but one way to get more shards is, especially in battlegrounds, is Hand of Doom is great, because when Hand of Gul'dan hits everybody, it reapplies Doom, so you're not spending all your time applying Doom to targets, I think, so it's really good. But trust me, Power Trip is also very good. It's more for, I think, Arena, I would say. And then Soul Conduit is also very powerful if you don't want to cast Dark Glare. Okay. But this is just a greedy, fun spec to play. When we get 5 soul shards, I want to audio cue on when that happens. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Is against, say, like these rebellious imps. We cast Hand of Doom. Well, Doom splashes all these guys. So let's try to show you on this target. It might be easier. We'll cast Doom on all these targets here just to kind of get the ball rolling. And you can see my Doom shards now is much better. And you have to have a lot more shard management. So that hopefully, and you see that refresh it just missed that back demon there. So now we're actually hitting it, and now you see my shards. I have a lot more shards being developed. You can see that from my Doom shards there, right? I have to still get called Dreadstalkers going on. Cast Dark Glare again, which is just badass. And you want to Demonic Empower him. You can see how many shards I'm producing. So in more AoE style large Zergy fights, you're going to excel more maybe as Demonology than Affliction, but because then look at, I could still cast my Fell Lord, and see that I could cast all these like add-ons. And look at my Doom is just proccing left and right, and you can see there's just a ton of numbers flying over. Yes, my Dreadstalkers are back up. I'm not moving around very much, I'm just standing still. So anybody can just jump on me, but it's pretty sweet when nobody's jumping on you. Boom, just has a massive Cthulhu's consumption. Hey man, Demonology is fun as hell to play. I hope they buff it again. The problem is it's so sensitive. If they don't buff it just right, we have to have a cast Hand of Gul'dan again to keep the Doom rolling on these guys. They nerfed the damage in PvP. Doom used to do double damage, and they nerfed it. So Doom used to hit like for 1,000,000 sometimes, which makes sense. I mean, it's a 20-second cooldown on them, and they have to dispel it, you know. But the problem is, you go into a pug battleground, nobody's dispelling anybody. Well, that's the problem. Of course, Dark Glare, and then Dark Glare pings you. And the problem is too with Dark Glare is he's got to chase people around to hit them, whereas with a regular dot, nobody has to be chased around. So you kind of can see this fully spec being fully active, which is really nice. Hope you guys, you can see all the imps there. I got 4 imps out, casting Dark Glare out, and they also nerf Demonic Empowerment, which used to buff your demons, and then you add that with Dark Pack, and well, you know, it is really, really powerful. So this is just a little highlight into Demonology. Demonology is a lot of fun to play. It's something different to play as. If you want to challenge yourself, if you play Demonology, you're just not going to do nearly enough damage. It's definitely a higher skill play, and you can see all the cooldowns I have to manage too is much more intense. You also, and wasn't even casting like my Doomguard and my Fell Hunt. You're constantly casting stuff all the time. You lose hit points too over, say, Affliction. So just in general, Affliction is a lot more powerful. But I wanted to make this video to show you, for the players that do want to challenge themselves, that do want to play Demonology, they get tired of playing Affliction, they want to try something new. Check it out. Thanks a lot.